You are listening to episode 63 of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Welcome to the Peaceful Mind Podcast, a place for creating the peace of mind you need to be the best mom you are created by God to be. If you want to bring more balance, more joy, and more peace to your motherhood, this is the place for you. I'm your host, certified life coach and Catholic mom, Danielle Tino. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, let's get started. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. Anything that has to do with time management is always a big hit with my listeners. And the reason why is because us moms, right? We are doing a whole bunch. But did you know that the frustration and overwhelm you're feeling is not from all of the things that you're doing? Nope. That is why I am a causal coach, because I get to the root, the true cause of what is creating that frustration and overwhelm for you. And it is your thoughts, my friends. That's right. It's all begins in your mind. And today, as we talk about how to stop procrastination, you will find that we have to stop looking outward into what we are doing, but we go inward to what we are thinking about it all. This is the magic. Okay, the reason why I'm even doing this episode is because in my Facebook group, Crazy Awesome Catholic Moms, I put out a poll. I polled the members there and asked them this question. I said, if you could eliminate one of these feelings, which would it be? And I listed worry, guilt, overwhelm, confusion, and doubt. And I am going to do a later podcast episode about the number one answer that came back as what they wanted to eliminate. But today's podcast is because one member added what she wanted to eliminate from that list. Because, you know, when you do those polls, or if you're familiar with setting up a post where you can poll people, you have a place where you can add something right there. And this member added, I would eliminate procrastination. And I just thought, you know, she's not the only one who believes that procrastination is something that she wants to eliminate from her life. But what I had to comment back on her was that worry, guilt, confusion, overwhelm, doubt, those are all feelings. And procrastination is something that we actually put in what the tool that I use the most in my coaching is the self-coaching model, where we have the circumstances, the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, and the results of our lives. And procrastination does not go on the feeling line like the other ones in the poll that I mentioned go. Procrastination goes on your A line, the action line. Whether you do something or you procrastinate is an action. So we often don't see it that way, that it comes across as a feeling, because we think that if we're not doing something, like if we're procrastinating and not taking action on something, that it's not an action, but it is. Hopefully I just didn't confuse you there. But the definition of action is what you are doing and what you're not doing. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is how to stop not doing the thing that you want to do. So you want to start doing it, and we have to deal with procrastination and where it comes from and why you are in the action of procrastinating. When it comes to time management, mamas, this is what you have to know. Time is our most important asset. That's right. You know, we think it might be money, but money goes, and guess what? You can get more of it. With time, when it's over, it's over. You don't get more. You don't get yesterday back. You don't even get the beginning minutes of this podcast, the time you've spent listening to it back. It is precious. It is fleeting. And right now, in this moment, yes, you are one step closer than you were a minute ago till the end of your time. And though that is kind of maybe like a morbid way of looking at it, I bring that up for you to start looking at your time as precious and fleeting. And so how you spend it is super important. And one of the most important habits that we need to change in order to get going using our time in the way we want to is procrastination, right? That is a habit. Did you know that? That you have been in the habit of procrastinating? But the great thing to say about that is that we can undo our habits and create different ones that will give us the change we want. And whatever it is that you're procrastinating right now, that dream, that goal, like you have it for a reason. And you have a compelling desire right now that's inside of you. And I'm just telling you that it is your responsibility to go after it and to go get it. I want you to know first and foremost that there is nothing wrong with you, that there's nothing broken and needs fixing when it comes to why you want to do things and you're not doing things. The number one thing is that we need to take more responsibility of how we manage our emotions. When I talk about managing our mind, this is why. Because our thoughts create our emotions. And so your mental health and what you're choosing to think about directly creates your emotional health, which is how you feel. And we need to take more responsibility of what we are thinking and feeling, because that is directly affecting whether you procrastinate or not. And you will procrastinate less the more you are managing your mind and your emotions. The more that you recognize that you are the one creating your emotions, then the less you'll use an excuse to not go out and do the thing that you want to do. I will say that I used to procrastinate a lot when I identified more as a perfectionist. As most perfectionists are, I was scared a lot. I was scared of failing. I was scared of what other people would think. I would be scared of it not being perfect. And so what I was doing is I was staying small and not doing the thing I really wanted to do because of this feeling, this emotion of fear. And what I was really doing, though, I was delaying my work in the world. And I was stopping myself from going after helping people because it didn't feel like, quote, perfect yet. And I didn't want to be judged. And so I put on hold, right? And in order to prevent from being judged, I also prevented myself from getting out there, from helping, from doing the things I wanted to do. I was taking up and using my time to make things perfect. But guess what? While I was doing that, it was just taking away that time when I could have been more productive. So what is the solution to this? And I've actually mentioned this quite a few times on a podcast before, the coaching tool or the concept of B- work. And that is there are things that you could be doing today, but you're stopping yourself from doing it because you think that you need to do it in a certain way, or it has to meet this certain guideline or approvals for it to be right, whether it's other people's approval or even your own. And so would a teacher give you an A for it? And I love to help moms see that the new grade you should be reaching for is a B-. That's right. If it would get a B-, if it's okay, if it's kind of done, if it's kind of together, then that is good enough, because at least you have created something and you've done something to move towards for it, as opposed to procrastinating where you don't get anything done at all. And I love what one of my clients, Jessica, actually, I'm going to see her tomorrow, and I'm going to mention that I am recording this podcast and that I will give her the credit for saying this recently when we were talking about B- work. But what Jessica has come to realize, that complete, whether it's an A work or B-, is sure better than nothing. Because before, she wasn't seeing any progress, getting anything done that she wanted to move towards. But now with the B- concept, and she's doing something towards it, even though it's not all the way finished or all the way perfect, if it's just good enough that it would get a B-, she's like, that's way better than getting a 0, right? Getting an incomplete. So complete, in a sense, even if it's just B-, is way better than procrastinating and not doing anything at all. Complete is better than 0. I love that. Thanks so much, Jessica, for that input. So what is it that you are putting off? What are you procrastinating about? What are you feeling afraid, lazy, or overwhelmed when you think about doing? Because it is actually having the opposite effect of what you want. When you are feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling scared, when you're feeling lazy, these are negative emotions that don't at all fuel the action you need to do to take care of what it is that you want to get done, what it is that you are procrastinating about. This is why it comes back to me wanting you mamas to feel good, to do what it is that you need to do in order for you to raise your emotional vibration, for you to feel fulfilled and filled up, and that you're paying attention to yourself with self-care and the things that you love and enjoy, because you will fill up and it'll overflow. So yeah, nobody feels like doing that hard thing or doing that complicated thing or the thing that will have to take a while when you are feeling bad, when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you are feeling scared. And next, I want to add another really important piece. First, we talked about how our emotions are the key to fueling the action of whether we are taking action or not, whether we are procrastinating or whether we're getting things done. It is so important to have the right emotions, which are caused by the way you are thinking about things. And speaking about thinking about things, this is why you are thinking the things you are. The thoughts that are keeping you from getting moving and taking action towards what it is that you want to get done. It's called the motivational triad. And it takes place in your brain. And just by that title, right? Motivational triad, it's like, ooh, this is something that's going to help me get motivated for me, which is the opposite of procrastination, right? But this is what the motivational triad is. It is the part of your brain that has you doing 3 things that make up the triad. Your brain wants you to avoid pain. No, it doesn't want you to get up and do the dishes and the laundry or do that hard PowerPoint project for work. Okay? It doesn't want you. It wants you to avoid pain, because that will be painful for you. You'll have to make a lot of decisions. It'll be hard on the physical part of your body. It'll take up a lot of time. It's going to be painful because you're going to have to do things and feel things that you don't want to do. Then the other part of the triad is your brain tells you to seek pleasure. Yes, it's like, no, I don't want to do the hard thing, the uncomfortable thing, the painful thing. I just want to stay here and eat this yummy food that gives me a hit of dopamine and watch this really fun show. See, your brain will tell you to seek pleasure, okay, and avoid pain. This is part of the motivational triad, and it also leads to procrastination. The last part of the triad is your brain is telling you to save energy, to be energy efficient. So again, it's like, wow, that will be too hard and too painful, and I'll have to exude too much effort. So instead, just do nothing. Keep things as is. Save your energy. Relax, right? You deserve it. Take it easy. Don't go do that thing you want to get done. Just relax, Mom. This is what the brain is telling you. So, can you see how if your brain is created to have a part of it that forms this triad, and where it is telling you to avoid pain, to seek pleasure, and to be energy efficient, to take it easy, of why it is that you won't want to go do that hard thing, the scary thing, and reach that big goal? Yeah. Even if it's a little thing, even if it's like organizing a closet or, changing out, going to have to buy kids all new clothes or something like that, right? Even those things, your brain is still going to warn you and tell you to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and to be energy efficient. So this is what I mean by nothing's wrong with you, nothing's broken if you're sitting there believing, why can't I just do that thing? Why do I always set out to do this and then I quit? This is why. And to stop procrastinating, we want to just realize and become aware that that part of your brain is there. But there is another part that you can tap into, and this is where coaching comes in, because we have to plan on purpose. We have to override that motivational triad in order to show up for ourselves, follow through, have our own back, do the thing anyway that's hard and will take energy and will keep you from having pleasure. Yeah, that's where we tap into. And that's how you learn to stop procrastinating, because you get the results you want in your life by taking massive action. And in order to take the action and to not procrastinate, we have to have the right feeling and thought combination behind it. So, I first of all want to say that the motivational triad is not something that we ever want to get rid of and try to stop, even though we are trying to pre-plan and use a different part of our brain to override it. It's just part of who we are. It was super useful, right, to have that part of our brain back in the day when we lived in caves where you needed to save energy, so you had fat on your body for the winter, and you needed to seek pleasure, which was procreating so we could build the human race, and you needed to avoid pain, which is watch out for that, big toothed animal out there that could kill you. So, and right now in modern day too, that part of our brain is in that fight or flight where it's actually helping you, like, don't run out into the road because there's a moving bus coming your way. So it's telling you to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and be energy efficient. So we just want to know when we're wanting to stop procrastinating in our life, we just want to know that that part of our brain exists and that it's actually really normal for our brain to offer us to do that. Right? And sometimes we do listen to it, but that's where we want to stop. We want to stop listening to it as more than we don't listen to it, because then we're always going to be procrastinating and not getting anything done. So, how to stop procrastinating? I want you to become aware, first of all, that you have a part of your brain that is designed and built in order to have you avoid pain and seek pleasure and be energy efficient. So it's normal. And then the first thing that we talked about was how to stop procrastinating is that we have to stop thinking the thoughts that have us feeling fearful and lazy and overwhelmed and unmotivated. And we need to tap in to that part of us that is really will feel driven and committed and compelled. And then you will find that you'll be taking the actions that you want to do on these projects or goals that you are not taking any action towards right now. And that is how we stop procrastinating. And if you want to dive deeper into the specifics of your life and what it is that you want and are not doing, especially if you fall to the person right now who feels like you can't do it, that it'll be too hard, it'll be too scary, and that you might fail and that you might be embarrassed, or you're just letting that part of your other brain rule your life, then I want to welcome you to come talk with me and let me show you that it's more simple and easy than you think, and that what you think is everything. Okay, I so enjoyed talking to you about this part of time management that is so prevalent to us moms if you find yourself that you want to eliminate procrastination. And thanks so much to the mom in the group, in case you're listening, who added that to my poll and sparked, because usually when you step up and you give something to the group and to the world, you realize that you're not alone. And I know that you're not alone wanting to eliminate procrastination, which is exactly why I wanted to address it head on and do this podcast today. So get going, mamas, on doing those things that right now you're procrastinating. Override that part of your brain, the motivational triad, and really fill yourself up so you can have strong, healthy emotional management and get going and not procrastinate. All right, thanks so much for listening, and I will talk to you again next week. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Are you ready to take everything I teach you here and put it to work for your own life? To really learn how to have peace of mind no matter what is happening around you? If so, I'd love to have you as a client. As your coach, this is where you'll get personal and focused time on your own mind using life coaching tools, concepts, and proven life-transforming wisdom, all through a faith-filled lens. To learn more about how we can work together, come on over to danielleteenel.com. There, you'll see how to sign up for a free coaching consult and learn how to get started. Until next time, peace be with you always.